Hello everybody and welcome back to the second video in our Steps to Start Freelancing series. If you haven't watched our first video on planning out your freelancing journey, I do recommend watching that one first, so I'll link to that in the description below. But if you have watched that one and you're ready to get started, this is a video for you. Keep watching. Okay, so I'm not going to show my gigs on the screen, but once you've created a seller account on Fiverr, this is what you're going to see, and you're just going to want to go to create new gig here. And that's going to bring you to the first thing you're going to have to do, which is figure out a gig title. My other video on creating gigs that stand out is going to go a lot more in depth than I'm going to right now about creating gig titles, but the one thing you're going to want to remember is to niche down. It might be instinctual to want to grab as big of a market as you can and make your title very broad, but you're not going to stand out there. So find a way that you can just take a little piece of the market for yourself. So if you're going to go into music mixing, you're not just going to want to say, I will professionally mix your music. Everybody's going to mix professionally. That's what people are buying, a professional service. So figure out a way to make your gig stand out, or at least just draw people in a little more than some random gig out there. So maybe if you're doing music mixing, you just say, I will give you a radio ready mix. I'm not saying that's the best option. This is just off the top of my head, but it'll entice people in more than just a professional mix, which is what everybody says. Everybody that comes in here wants a radio ready mix because that's what sounds good. And anybody searching for gigs might type in something like that. So it will grab more people than just saying a professional mix will. And then once you do that, Fiverr is going to suggest a category that it thinks you might be looking for. In this case, they are correct. It's that. For the sake of this gig, I'll just say we're offering mixing. Down here, you get to add up to 5 tags that will help people find your gig. Again, don't make these so broad that you can't stand out. Try and niche down. Maybe throw in 1 or 2 music genres that you're good at mixing, if you're doing this. Or add something about 24-hour delivery if you're going to offer that. Anyone searching for 24-hour delivery is going to find you because of this tag. So just figure out some tags that make you stand out from the rest and are a little more appealing than putting in professional or something like that. If you use analog equipment instead of digital to mix, that's probably a selling point. I would put a tag in for that. That's a lot of people look for analog mixing. So anything that you can think of to make yourself stand out, do that to pull people in. The next page you're going to come to is the scope and pricing page. You're going to be able to choose 3 packages to sell to people, depending on how much they want to spend. So my recommendation, which you'll find, I think it was in my pricing video on pricing gigs, I'll throw the link to that in here too, is to make your medium level standard package the one that you really push and the one that's going to draw in the most amount of people. It's an old marketing trick to have 3 tier levels and have the middle one be the one that will entice the most people. You can have one basic package that'll draw people into your gig, but won't offer the features that most people need. So those people are going to bump up to your standard package and you're going to get a little more money. On the high end, you're going to have a premium package with all the bells and whistles and everything somebody might need to get their order completed. And you're not going to get a lot of people buying this, but occasionally there are going to be people that don't want to do anything and want some above and beyond work done. So when you do get an order like this, it's really going to help and be a great payday for you. So I don't think the names really matter. You could even stick with the basic, standard, and premium. I never really look at those. And then just give some details on what you're offering. So like for audio mixing, one thing that I saw is that most basic packages would only mix up to 4 stems. And then, standard might be 8 and then premium 20 or something like that. So maybe one way that you can differentiate yourself is to offer 8 stems in your basic package. and then put it obviously a better description than that. And then standard could be 12 stems, and then premium could be 24. And that's a way to stand out. You're doing a little bit more than most other people do. And, that will take you more work and more time to do. But when you're getting started, you want these orders to start rolling in and to get a little momentum behind you. So you're going to need to do stuff like that. And then later on, obviously, you can lower that. Maybe you go down to 4 stems if you're getting a lot of orders in or something like that. But this is a good way to start, depending on what gig you have. Delivery time, depending on what you're going to want to do, might have to be 1 day to start. And then as you go up, maybe you take more days. This is really up to you. At the beginning, it really is a grind, and you're working long days to get these orders flowing in. But a lot of people do kind of expect that 24-hour turnaround period for these bottom of the barrel priced gigs, which is what you're going to be starting at. um, so obviously when you move up and you're able to charge more and you have kind of some clout behind you, you can, deliver in 6 days or something like that. And maybe you can now, but right now you're going to have to try and undercut people or at least match them, so it's going to have to start really low. Revisions is the one place I wouldn't recommend going all out with. You can give people unlimited revisions, but you're just opening the door to trouble because you will occasionally have these people that are never happy and they just want things tweaked constantly, or they want to restart because now they have a different sound in their head that they're going for, and you'll just have to redo it over and over. So I would recommend, maybe doing one revision for that one, and two for this one, and three for this one. And that way people have a limit. Now, what you can do is add additional revisions and these extra services here. So you can add in gig extras where people will be able to, kind of add on some upsells to their gig, and you'll get paid more for that, obviously. So maybe for, an extra $5, you'll give them another revision. Um, and then, if somebody is that picky buyer who needs another revision, just say, yeah, I will do it, but it will be another $5. And then that's more money in your pocket. And then it feels better, going through revision after revision. Yeah, so other than that, it's really going to depend on your gig for this. Pricing, again, you might have to start at the low end. I'm not going to go through pricing a whole lot just because I have a whole video about that, but figure it out, go through all of this, decide what gig extras you're going to add, and you can actually make up your own here too. So, anything you want to offer, if you want to have, say you have 8 stems here and it goes up to 12, but you can add in an extra stem mixed. Um, and then if somebody wants 10 stems, they'll be able to order the bottom tier gig and then add on 2 more stems mixed to get their 10 instead of jumping up to that medium tier. So do that, and then you're on your way. So the next page is the description page, and you're going to want to spend a good amount of time writing this. This is really a good opportunity for you to create an image for yourself, and just really know what market you're in. If you're mixing music for bands, you're probably not going to want to seem, you know, professional and business-like. Maybe you will. That could be a niche to get into, but a lot of bands are going to want somebody that, acts more cool and more rock and roll, Just make people feel like they know you and that you're not just another no-name person on Fiverr trying to get a sale here. Make them feel a connection to you so that they will want to work with you and come back and keep working with you. You're also going to want to add in as many keywords here as you can. Um, so you did have some tags back there that we added. I would recommend adding those in here too. And then this is also a good opportunity to add in more keywords that maybe you saw other people using, but that you haven't used yet. Who knows what people are searching for? So this is a good way to maybe theoretically draw in some more of that if people do scroll past the top listings for whatever they search for. Um, So, what I did and what I recommend you do is just start off by writing whatever you want to write. Don't think about it. Don't push yourself to add personality or keywords into it. Just write a description. And then once you have that done, look at your list of keywords that you want to include and try and figure out places where you could fit them in or change the sentences to work. And then you can also change the sentences around to make them more fun or playful or whatever you're looking to do. But it just helps me to have a basis to work off of. And I think it should help you too. Um, so write out a good description. And this is really a place where a lot of people can be drawn in once they click on your gig. Next, go through and add in your requirements. There's a couple things that I always have with requirements. One of them, obviously, is any files that you might be working with. If you're mixing music, obviously, you're going to need those stems. So you're going to want to write in that requirement. Please provide me with any stems you have. And then down here, it's going to be a file that they're going to be attaching, obviously. So click that, and you're going to want to probably make that one mandatory. Just so that people do include files for you to work on. I've had people not before. I don't know. It's weird. Just click add. And then another one I always ask for is what people want out of it or what inspirations they have. So, especially if you're doing like guitar parts, writing guitar parts for people, maybe there's another song that they want to emulate or another style of guitar that they want you to create for their song. So this is a good place for them to give you links or song titles and stuff like that to help you figure out what they want. And this will really help you in the long run to not have to start over or get it wrong. You'll kind of have a more concrete idea of what they're looking for before you even begin. So I do like having any sort of information to help me that I could possibly get. And that's really it for that. This is going to be the other category that you're going to have to spend a lot of time on, and it's probably going to be the hardest part. Um, I recommend having a really good gig photo with a picture of you in it, just so people can attach a face to your name. Anything you can do to create a relationship with clients to make them come back is helpful, and people like having that personal connection with people instead of it seeming like some sort of robot behind the other side of the screen. So do that. And then the other thing I did, obviously for audio freelancing, you're going to have a lot of audio that you want people to hear. If you're starting out and you don't have any work behind you, you can kind of, fib a little here. When I started off doing podcasts, I had only mixed music up until then. So I created a couple fake podcasts where I did one and my fiance did one so that I could show a before and after of these little fake podcasts, where I'd show a 30-second snippet of me talking and then what it sounded like after. And that just helped me get going until I got some orders under my name that I could throw up samples for. But what I did to mix the audio and thumbnail photo was to create a gig video, and this helped me a lot. On Fiverr, you can watch a gig video right from the search page. So I used iMovie, and all I did was I took the thumbnail image I created and I stretched it to fit the length of all the audio clips I had. And then it's just a way for people to hear your audio work that you've done and also have that thumbnail image that people will want to click on. And I think I put some words on it like this is the before, this is after, this is me reading this audiobook with this kind of playful style or whatever. But it's a really easy way to get more clicks to your page. All of my gig statistics went up after I created a video, and I think it's just because people didn't have to click to figure out more about you. They could stay on the search page, watch your video for 30 seconds, and get an idea whether they wanted to work with you or not. So really, if you have a way to create a video, do it because it's just taking gig audio and gig photos and putting them into one place. So it'll help you a lot. And I think that's it. Save and continue, and your next step is just to publish, and that's all there is left. Okay, so I hope this video helped you, and I hope you're all ready to go. If you're ready to go out and get your first gig, come back next week for our next video because I'll be talking all about that. And if you want to be sure you see that one, as well as a lot of other videos and tips I have about freelancing and audio work in general, please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to give this video a like, and I hope to see you next week.